Hey class, we're back again, and now we're looking at example 3 from chapter 8.5. So this is enlarging from a scale diagram to determine the actual dimensions. Now this is very similar to the truck example we just did a minute ago, so if you haven't watched that video, I strongly suggest you go watch it. So what we're doing here is we've got Nadia, and she's found plans for a bookend in a woodworking magazine. The plans include a scale diagram with a scale ratio of 1 to 5. Determine the dimensions, the length, width, height, and base thickness of the actual bookend. So you can see the dimensions that we're given here. We've given 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches, 1/4 of an inch, 2 inches, and 1 inch. What we're going to do is we're going to use this scale factor to enlarge all of those to the actual size. Now, a 1 to 5 scale factor, if you think about us doing enlargement, a 1 to 5 ratio, I should say, gives us a scale factor of 5 to 1 or just 5. So literally we're just going to do 5 times all of these measurements, and that's going to give us our new measurements. So we can start off with the 1 3/4 inches. So for my new height, all I'm going to do is take 1 3/4 inches, or 1.75 inches, and I'm going to multiply that by a scale factor of 5. So I'm just grabbing my calculator, and I'm doing 5 times 1.75. And so now I have 8.75. So that is my the actual height, so 8.75. Okay. For the next one, I'll take this 1.5 inches, so I've got 1.5 inches, and I'll multiply that by 5. So again, 1.5 times 5, you can probably do that in your head, is 7.5. So that becomes 7.5 inches. This 1/4 inch thickness over here, we can do that, so that's 0.25 inches, and we multiply that by 5. Well, 5/4 would give you 1.25, so that's now 1.25 inches. Then you can see we have a 2-inch measurement here. So we've got 2 inches multiplied by 5. And I'll keep my units. That's giving me 10 inches. So this is now 10 inches. And lastly, we've got 1 inch. So 1 inch scaled up by a factor of 5 gives us 5 inches. And so we end up with 5 inches. And so that's all there is to it. So we simply look at our scale factor, look at our ratio. We try and figure out if we're enlarging or if we're shrinking or reducing. Based on that, we know if our scale factor should be bigger or smaller than 1. Determine your scale factor and then scale up your measurements. And that's all there is to it.